There you go.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We're here once again to do a wonderful interview. Today we have um, elder medicine Mama Bearclaw. Thank you for joining us. And
Yes.
Biggie Adventures. Am I correct, Biggie?
The Great Outdoors Biggie.
Outdoors Biggie Adventures, yes. Biggie, can you talk on the chat so that people can subscribe to you? Oh, here you are. Let
There
me
you go.
fix your comment.
People can
Here we
subscribe
go.
to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here you are.
Wonderful.
Let me fix your comment. People can subscribe to you.
Okay.
Oh, here you are.
Wonderful.
Let me fix your comment. People can subscribe to you. Oh, here you are.
Wonderful.
Let me fix your comment.
I don't know if it's you, Biggie. Turn a bit lower the sound. Let's see if it works.
Trying to fix the sound, but
Turn a bit lower the sound. Let's see if it works.
I can't even hear.
You can't hear?
Well, I can't hear nothing.
You have earphones.
I'm on my laptop. I got my phone free.
I
Case
can't
you
hear
need to- Can everybody see us in your community?
Okay, it seems to be better. Okay, Biggie, maybe try getting off and coming back in.
Okay.
Let's see if it works.
Everybody can hear us for what I've been told.
Yeah, but it's repeating
Oh,
on
on his.
I'm not sure if Biggie's using some sound.
Yeah, I think he was using his TV.
So that should be fine.
Yeah, he just needs to either mute it or lower it down. That way, and then he can use his phone to actually hear.
Wonderful. Mama Bear, if you want, you can start while we wait for him.
Okay.
You can talk a little bit of the novelties you have,
Okay.
and
All right.
a little bit about you as well, so people know who are coming in.
Okay. Good morning here and my time. I'm in California right now. I'm full-blooded Blackfoot. I am from the Blackfoot Res up in the mountains there. I am an elder. I am the youngest elder in nationwide of all tribals. They do contact me for many things. I am a medicine woman. I'm also an attorney for our indigenous natives relatives. I am 63 years old. I got my spirit name is Bearclaw because I killed my first bear when I was 5 years old with a bow. And
Wow.
I speak 9 languages. I also have 4 clans that I interact with. So, Danse, Oki, Aho, Yatahe. Good morning and greetings to all. If anyone has any questions they'd like to ask me, feel free to ask. I will continue on what I'm saying about myself. Since I was 5, I got my first kill, like I said, and that was my spirit name, Bearclaw. So it kept staying on there. Why is it binging? Okay.
We hear you good.
Sorry. So my community, the Red Hawk was my chief that back in Blackfoot Chris, we did a lot of traveling,
I
a lot
fixed
of
it.
traveling and learning how to track different cryptids in over the years. Let's see, 50 years experience that I have. And I've mentioned many stories young in my own channel. I have a Facebook that also too, and I do many protection bags that I make to keep you safe up in the woods or the forest. It helps you to bring your anxiety down, if panic attacks, or if you feel you're having a migraine, a headache, it helps too. Also, I do my own beading jewelry. No, this
Nice.
medallion, it was given to me as a gift for doing a judging in a powwow. So, but I do make them too. I have over 654 sponsors. Um, I have helped them through their journey to understand what Satanga is, which is a Bigfoot Sasquatch, ape man, hairy man, and many my sponsors have asked questions how to address it, how to what the aggressive ones or any other creatures. So um, mine, this is very old, as you can tell. When I make them, there is the ingredients is very sacred to us indigenous natives. Oh, he back out again, and to protect
Oh, he
everyone.
went out.
And I also some of my community um, members on the board, they tell me not to speak to people, other humans, about many things, but I feel that I am going to address it to speak to them so that way many people understand how the creatures come in town or up in the mountains with forests. So it's important that you be protected and understand. So therefore I will continue to fight and speak up for other people so they know. Again, I had sponsored Sangha, which is AKA Biggie, beneath me here. He is
Beautiful Biggie.
he is one of my sons that I had sponsored, and he does a great deal investigating in the Sasquatch Satanga world. So I will introduce you to Sangha, aka Biggie, the big great outdoors. And if
Great to have you, Biggie.
Thank you.
So Biggie, to start with, we just wanted a little bit of your background, whatever you want to talk, and a little bit of how you got into this, how you acquired this knowledge, and a
Okay.
little bit of your history. Go on.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, I was around 13 years old. We were camping in Fort Custer, which is located here in Battle Creek. It's on the Kalamazoo city limits. My dad used to go out there all the time when we were kids. We used to hike and fish, and it's a campground, so we used to go out there camping and doing family things. Well, one night we were camping. I remember it was a little cold out, and we had a fire going. It was a little chilly. We were sleeping in the tent. My dad comes back and he wakes me up and he says, "You got to come and see this," because I was always really big about Sasquatch, but we used to find deer or whatever like slashed open, like 3 cut marks across the belly, and the guts would be hanging out, and only like key things would be missing. It'd be like the liver and the heart, like, but the rest of the animal would
Wow.
be there. And we kept seeing these big old prints. I'm talking about massive prints. And at that time, we would joke it off and all that. I was a kid, so we would joke it off. And I'd be like, Sasquatch. And then my dad, he came back one night. We were out there. It was around Halloween time. We're out there. We're camping. He wakes me up. He says, "You got to come and see this. You got to come and see this." And he's flipping out. And my dad was into martial arts, so he was him and his friends always used to sword fight with real swords and practice and all that. So they wore the all black ninja suits, so they were pretty much blacked out. Well, he took me down this trail, and we walked probably a good 45 minutes. Then we got to this field, and I know the park pretty well. I knew where we were at. There's this big silo, but anyway, we're sitting there, and we're inside the tree line, and we're coming up to this field. And in the field, it's like daytime because the sun is like, I mean, not the sun, but the moon is out, but it looks like sun. It looks like the sun, it looks like daytime. So if you were to step out into the field, you would be lit up. My dad says, "Don't go out into this field. Stay inside the dark. Stay inside the tree line. Don't expose yourself." And then he says, and you can't talk. You got to be quiet and don't scream. Whatever you do, don't scream. And I was like, well, that's kind of strange. He's like, now look, and he's pointing. And he says, "You don't see him?" I said, "No, I don't see him. I'm looking on the ground, like level, like in the field." And my dad's like, "No, no, no. Look in the tree." And he points up. He says, "Look in the tree." I look up in the tree and I see these three. Only way to describe them really is like when you see them, it's like monkeys at the zoo, but like human form. They're literally chasing each other from tree to tree to tree to tree, going, I mean, like going all over this tree. They're pulling the branches of the tree all the way down, and then they're springing off the tree and they're flying through the air to the next tree. I'm like, wow. And then I remember my uncle saying, "Oh, that's military. That's military." And I'm like, I don't think no military could do that. In my mind, back in the 90s, no military is going to do that. And it was on the military side, though. It was on the military property. And my uncle, he sneaks up along the whole edge of the field because there's a wood line that goes all the way along because we're on the tip corner of the field. So he's going along the wood line. He gets up there. My dad's like, and I don't know why my dad said this, but he was like, "You got to stay here. I got to go get your uncle before he gets killed." I'm like, huh? He's like, "And stay inside the darkness. Don't go in the light. And then whatever you do, if you see one, do not scream." And, me being young, 13, I'm thinking like, "Ugh, you ain't leaving me," but he leaves me. And I'm just fascinated with what I'm seeing in the moonlight. And ever since that, I've been a real believer, because there's nothing in my mind or nothing that I can say in this world that could ever done that, like we don't have the technology to do that. And then I was watching a video, TV. I seen the exact same kind of video where the dude's describing his experience in the moonlight and they're doing it tree to tree and it's a big old tree and he's talking about the exact same thing that happened to me. And I was like, well, that's kind of neat. And then I was like, I was always fascinated with Bigfoot. So I'm watching anything Bigfoot, videos, movies, short clips. I'm like, man, I really like Sasquatches or whatever. So I dedicated my life, instead of being scared of them, I dedicated my life to be like, I'm gonna love this creature. And you think about it, in the back of your mind, you're like, it don't exist because you're out in the woods and you're stomping through the woods. And we grew up in below poverty, so we didn't have cell phones and flashlights and stuff like that. My dad had a lantern and all that, but that was mainly around the campsite. So you had to go in the woods with no flashlight, walk to the bathroom with no flashlight. So you got used to walking around in the dark. And in the back of my mind, I was when I first seen him, I was scared, and then I was like, well, I gotta instead of being fearful of them, I gotta accept them and tell myself, everything's gonna be all right. They didn't hurt you. So now I accepted them as humans.
Family in a way, kind of, right?
Yeah, in like a good way, a positive way. So that way I wouldn't fear them. So now I just, everybody's, you hear stories and you watch a movie. I get mad when I'm watching a movie and they're like, well, the Sasquatches, they came in and attacked us and ripped us apart and stole the kid and, and the wife. And I'm like, why did the movies portray these creatures as being like hostile? Like, if you run into a Sasquatch, it's going to rip you apart. It's going to kill you. It's going to this. Every Sasquatch I've ever came encounter with, ran into, even the bad ones, they shake the trees, they get mad, they whoop at you, they holler really loud, but they warn you if they don't want you near them, they warn you first. They get like, back off, get away. They throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
But then again, if you approach them like me, because I'm like a little bit out there, I'll approach them. And even though they're throwing the stuff and all that, doing all the crazy stuff, I'll still approach them. And they usually, like, I've never had one attack me. Like, never had one physically attack me. And I'm like, why do the movies portray these creatures as being like that? If people would actually see them as kind, loving, caring creatures and stop attacking them when they see them or trying to fight for their life and, fear for their life, then, everybody asks me, well, what advice can you give me if I decide to go into the research in the field and all that? Well, I said, well, for one, you need to know all your cryptid encounters. You need to know all your mythical creatures, because once you start doing it, you're going to see some stuff that you're going to be like, no way. It ain't real. It don't exist. So, I started only a few years back, actually getting my boots dirty on the ground. I got inspired by ODU, which is Outdoor University Online. I used to watch all his videos on YouTube and find all the stuff in the background and show everybody everything and all that. And me and Charles Mills, whatever, we were really close, really good. We talked every day on the phone, and we were like, I don't know, I was just like drawn to his channel because I was like, wow, this dude's actually really putting boots on the ground. He's actually going out. He's actually finding stuff. He's like, so I was excited. And then he had the cameraman, which was part of his crew at the time, whatever. And they split apart, but I watched them break up too, but that was sad too, though. But anyway, besides the point, I helped the cameraman out too, whatever, finding all his finds in the background and all that. And it's pretty much how I started my career in doing it. ODU inspired me. He says, you know what? Anybody can do what I'm doing. Anybody can put their boots on the ground and get them dirty and get out there and do research and all that. So it inspired me to get out and start my own channel. And then, I inspired Squatch Topic to do their channel. Bigfoot Wenji.
Our brother, Josh.
Yeah. I inspired him to do his channel. I inspired Bigfoot Wenji to do his channel. Charlie I got him into it. I got a few other channels, into it.
Beautiful. Love hiking as well on the mountains or woods. It doesn't need to be mountains.
Yes, it's exciting.
Even just a little bit of woods in your like city or whatever. If you got just a little bit of woods, just getting into it, a little bit of nature.
My little town, it's a village, so it's not very big. It's big in area, and I've heard that it has like maybe look, the place where I live, it's like a village, but it's englobed inside a district in a way, kind of, which has a city, and it's glued to the second biggest city in my country. So there's some woods, but they're not very big. It's like, I don't know, 10 football pitches and things like that, but you don't get like that huge concentration of like a whole town made of woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing
You
is,
get that, but it's further away from here. It's you have to go in between towns to get that bigger woods, you know,
okay,
and the mountain.
but they don't live just in the bigger woods. I live in the middle of the city, and they live in a little patch of woods.
Yeah, exactly. I've the patch of woods that I go. I've sometimes I get that scare and stuff. I get nervous and things like that. It's funny, but
Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. The hairs stand up and all that. That's how you know they're around. Everybody
yeah.
asks
Many,
me
And
that. That's the
sometimes I
question I
have
get.
a feeling it's
Yeah.
dog man and or Sasquatch. It's not the same feeling I have, you know. Although they may be at the same time, you know, but sometimes I get that feeling it's one thing, and sometimes I get the feeling it's something else.
you have more activity of the star people there.
Yeah, they are. I've heard they are a lot of the woods as well, right, sister?
Yes,
They
yes.
they kind of
There,
live inside the
there,
woods as well.
there are many, many things in the forest and the woods in every country and state. Even our own and others country, they have. You would know they will have certain things, and people are not understanding. Well, wait a minute, what is that? Or sometimes the star people, the ones that live on Earth with Mother Earth and the other creatures, they are called the Star Watchers. The star people are the ones that keep coming back and forth where everybody's seeing, oh wow, is that a spaceship or a plane? Now you got to remember too that they come down to gather information from their star people so they can get what is the humans are doing. You get sometimes they will ask, have you communicated more with the people? Sometimes the people will not focus right. So they will, try to explain to them. Not many people will keep talking. So it's really, really hard on other people that try to understand the star people, the star watchers. And when I speak of this in my channel of the Star Watchers, is because they're the ones that's giving out information to their commander, which is the Star People that come in ships.
Yep.
But the Satangas don't really communicate with the Star Watchers that much. If it's necessary, they will tell them, you stay on that side. You stay your grounds over there. Do not come intervene with us. And believe me, they will scare them just as well they will scare the others. Sangha.
Very interesting information, sister. We do know they have the indigenous saw them because they are all over the mountains, sculpted in the mountains, right?
Yes. Also, the Star Watchers do go in the sea. There, I believe, which many of indigenous relatives of mine also say that they feel that there is a city of them in the water, in the ocean.
Oh, I
So,
believe that for years, right off the coast of Alaska. And there's another one in the Pacific or whatever, but they go in through Alaska, in and out of Alaska's waters. They have a city right there below Alaska, like right off the outskirts of Alaska, right there in that little dip. Just like they, I believe too. I can't prove it, but I also believe they have a city built underneath the earth itself.
yes, this is just like how I got in trouble the other day for my last video. I was giving more information that I was supposed to. But like I said, I am going to speak a little more about what it is. I don't live on the res, so they can't shame me. You know, they can't put nothing. All they can tell me is to give me a warning. So,
You even get yelled at like I do.
oh yeah. Bring it. I tell them, bring it. Bring it. You want me to help continue with all the other information. So come on, bring it. But yes, excuse me. You know, I do know about star people and the star watchers, but for me, I have more communication with the Satangas. Now, when I do help the channels, I am actually there with them, but I'm not walking with them. I'm up on the tree sitting as I'm guiding, telling them how many feet or how many yards away a Satanga or Bigfoot are, and I would let them know, and it's to your left, to your right, in front of you, or behind you. And they will, okay, oh, I see it, right. I have been doing this for many, many years and helping other channels, you know, build up and know why things are really out there, because it's important that we all say, okay, I understand. You're investigating out there, but you don't really know what's out there. So you have to really be careful. Now, the star watchers will interact with the it. Now, all indigenous natives know that you're not allowed to say the S word, because it's like saying you're allowing the it to come and suck your eyes out and take your soul from your body. And it's,
Yep.
I don't think anybody wants that. Now, people, they say it, but when you start saying it, then next thing you know, you're hearing, or so, and sometimes you'll hear a bang, or you might hear like a baby cry, or like a children screaming. Those are it. Those are trying to come and reel you in, you know, calling you in. So, that's what I'm saying, is you're allowing them to come to the house and to take what is yours. So many have to be careful.
Mama
When
Bear, I'm very interested on what you said, that the S, they communicate with the star people. In which way? Do you think they use them for any works down here on Earth?
we believe that the it does communicate with the star watchers, because them themselves have been trying to clone themselves to a fox, a dog, a wolf, a wild bull.
Humans.
Even the
Oh, the
people.
star people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
They live amongst us.
But you can actually tell, because they're like, they say those are like almost zombies, but it's the same thing.
They're
Not
kind of what
almost.
people call ship shapers.
Yeah.
Shape. Yep. The
They can change
Wingaloo.
the
Shifter,
form.
shifters.
Ship
Well, think
shape.
about it. If you see an alien standing in front of you, you're gonna freak out. But if you see a cute little bunny sitting in front of you, you're gonna be like, "Aw, cute little bunny."
It's not really a bunny.
Yeah, there is a theory that I have. Some people, of the abductions and things like that. There is one he sees an owl instead of an alien, and some say that that's the star people getting in our heads so we don't get afraid of them. So they appear in several forms, right, in front of our
Correct.
eyes, and that's maybe how they use the S ones. They
Yeah.
maybe use them for that, or
I have a great
interesting.
nephew that he's Navajo, and he does say it. But when a relative says it, you have to be blessed by the elders, as myself. What we do is we go around putting protection around the house, the children, and they're inside the house, outside the house, in the garage, so that way it doesn't come right in. Because when we speak of it and we tell you what it does, then we actually have to go and do a smudging, a cleansing, and protection for that family, in which my great nephew has quite a few kids. So we had to do many on them, because his journey is to help others understand what the S is, what we call it. But we allowed him to say it's with protection. And then when you go in his home, it's you smell more than the sage, because we put many things, sacred ingredients, in the house and outside around the house. If demons can take, sorry about that.
Mama Bear, did you know that on here we have a religious day? The the day of in America you go you do trick and treating and things like that.
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween, and that's like a religious holiday here.
Like the Day
And
of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they use a yellow bush that grows in the fields. It has some spikes, and they put it on every door to keep the witches. It's to do with witchcraft, but it's to keep the bad eyes on that house, something like that. So it's similar as a little bit to how you use the sage and things like that, right?
Well, they
Yes.
say
How that
like
goes.
vampires, you hang the garlic on the door, and
As well, yeah.
that's why I eat garlic or whatever. So that way, when I run into a witch and she decides to cook me, I'll taste good.
This is sweetgrass. You can burn it as sage for protection in your home too. Um, I put them over our doors. I put it in our cars. It's for protection in our journey where we're driving. Put these over the doorways, is to protect you, that whatever bad energy comes at it, it sucks it up and dries it out. Then after, when it gets, this is golden right now, it'll get a little more deeper yellow, then that means it's time to burn it. And then I put it with Mother Earth. Sweetgrass is very hard to grow here, but I always ask my relatives back home or in Canada if they can send me, and they send it all single, and then I braided it up, and then
Nice.
We actually have it above my door and in my car.
Mhm.
I have to
do.
put this on the car because this week I'm going for the hike on Wednesday. I want to take it with me.
Griff says, as you know, the
Wonderful.
evil uses the spirits of seeds and doubt of weapons. True.
Plus, I make
But
mine official.
What is that from the police?
It says on it Bigfoot
Ah,
investigator. So I'm a official Bigfoot investigator.
official.
Yeah.
Super
It's funny
Dave,
because when I go in the stores and all that, I go in with my great outdoors coat on and basically all my hunting clothes is what I call them. I go in with all my outdoors clothes. And everybody's always looking at me, and they look at the badge and they look at me because I kind of like live in what they call the hood, and everybody's like, "Man, he's a cop, he's a cop," you know. And then my truck has all the stickers and all that, and they're looking at me like, I'm like, you know, every now and then I'll pick it up or whatever when they're goofing off. People are goofing off of me. I'm like, I'm not a cop, guys. I do Bigfoot research. You know, I'm not a cop. You guys are good.
Biggie, do you want to tell us? Okay, sorry. Go, Mama Bear.
I don't know. That's fine. He can speak.
I wanted to ask Biggie if you could tell us another story of Satanga or Dogman. And before Mama Bear, you can show us some of your handwork works you do and things like that. What do you think?
That's fine.
So you can prepare.
Okay.
That's the stage.
I have a lot of stories of the dog man and Bigfoots and all that, but the one that pops out of my mind is the most is me and Chris just got into investigating the hot spot, and I was up on the I call it hillside, you know, but some people call it like a holler. You know, Chris is down in the holler, I'm up above the holler, you know. So anyway, I'm up on the hillside, and I come down and I turn the corner, and then all of a sudden Chris is just standing there. It's nighttime, and he's frozen, and I'm like, Chris, and he doesn't say nothing. And I get closer to him and I touch him or whatever, and then he kind of like comes out of it and he looks at me, and I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, you don't see it? I'm like, nah, I'm taller than Chris, so Chris is shorter than me. But anyway, I'm looking into the wood line and I don't see it, and he's like, dude, get down to my eye level. So I bend down to his eye level and I shine the light, and as soon as I do that, I'm looking at these big old red eyes, but the red eyes have blood vessels going through it, so you can see the blood veins, you know, going through the eyeball or whatever. You know, like you can see all the crackling. You can see the pupil of the eye, and at the top of the eye, it's like dark red, and then it goes into like an orangish color, and then a yellowish color. And I'm looking at this eye or whatever, and there's two of them though, but the one stands out more than the other, like draws you to it or whatever. But anyway, I'm just like fascinated. And this eye is probably about the size of a tennis ball. And I'm like, I'm thinking red or whatever, and I'm remembering all the stories, you know, like when everybody talks about red eyes, they talk about the dog man, and I guess if you're close enough to see all the colors, you're like a little too close of the eyeball, you know. But anyway, I'm like looking at this eye or whatever, and I'm fascinated, and I'm like, wow, I need to get this on camera. So I pull up my phone, and I'm getting ready to hit the record to get it on film, and all of a sudden it just runs off, and it went away quiet. Well, that night I got home, and I don't know why I had like this overwhelming fear in me, like I was scared, like it put a fear in you that, you know, like if you mess with me, I could end you, like, you know, I can end your life. Fear. So I came home and I loaded up the guns and I stuck them beside the bed. I got my double out buck 12 gauge, you know, 3.5 inch mags in there, and I got it all loaded up beside the bed, and I slept with it for 2 days. And I was scared for 2 days. It had me fearing me. And then one day I woke up, I had a dream, and I woke up, and I talked to Mama about it too. And she's like, well, son, you got to face your fear. And the weird thing is, in my dream, it's telling me the same thing. You got to face your fear. So I went out there and I chased that thing all over them woods. Like, I mean, I chased it and chased it and chased it. And then Mama was like, why are you chasing it? And I'm like, I'm going to put the fear back in him to let him know that I ain't scared of him, and you're not going to do that to me again. You're not going to scare me like that. So I chased that thing. It literally cowered down in these bushes. And when it cowered down in the bushes, I had Mud and Chris with me. And I'm like, well,
Awesome.
I'm like, well, what am I gonna do or whatever? Like I was thinking in my mind, well, I already got him cowered down, I already got him scared. So I told the crew or whatever that was with me, I said we all need to just back out. And then Mud on the channel was like, well, no, let's keep chasing it. I'm like, no, we had him in a bush, we had him cowered down, we had it scared. And then when I came up to the bush, it literally snuck off up the hill or whatever to try to get away from me. And I was like, that's enough. I think it knows what my intentions were, and now it knows that I'm not afraid of it. Well, anyway,
Awesome.
another story that I had of a Suntunga, a Bigfoot, is I'm in the woods, and it's springtime, summertime. You know, like all the foliage is there, like everything's all bright and green and everything. And so I'm thinking it's like midsummer, like beginning of summer or whatever, maybe midsummer. I'm in there and I see this Bigfoot and it was on a night live stream. I seen it and I'm like, no way. And then I was like, it's not even close. And then I was like, is it really showing itself to me? So I'm on the live stream. I'm telling people, well, I'm going to pursue this Bigfoot. So I go after it. I just take off through the woods. I get in there and I'm on a game trail and I'm working my way through this game trail. And then there's like bushes on both sides of us. And then right in the middle of the path is a spike. It's a stick that they shaved the tip. So like when you go through there, but there was vines on both sides of it that were arched in the trail. And my foot had caught that vine and it tripped me a little bit. And I caught my balance or whatever and I looked when I caught my balance, I had looked down. And when I looked down, I seen the stick with the spike. And I'm like, oh wow. I racked my brain. I'm like, what? I'm like, why is there just a spike in this path? And then I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, that's how they hunt. They chase the animal down this one trail, a path, and then it catches his foot, and then it trips him, and he lands on the spike, and that's how they get him. That's how they wound it. I'm like, wow. And then I kept seeing like these little X's in the ground too, or whatever, in the pathways, and I kept seeing rocks. I'm like, well, what's the X? What's the X in the rocks about? I started telling Mom, I'm like, I think that they're taking the rocks and they're throwing them and they're trying to make it where it hits the X or like their mark right there. And that's how they knock animals out and all that. And then I was like, maybe that's another way of how they hunt. And I kept asking Mom, I was like, so did natives hunt that way or whatever? Did they use rocks or whatever to like, get, like to get food? And it started making sense because it was like it was on a hillside and then they could throw it down at it. But anyway, I'm chasing this Bigfoot, through this path. And I was just telling you because that was in the path. But I'm chasing it through this path. And there's like this big old bush. And the bush is probably 8 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot, something like that. And it's got thorns, So like when you go, how like when you walk in a bush or whatever and you got all them thorns and they're poking you and all that, you can't go through this foliage. In other words, you can't go in there because you're just going to get ripped all to shreds and all that from all the spikes from the thing, whatever. So anyway, the Bigfoot I'm chasing or whatever, I watch it like literally, it was like something in the Olympics. You know how when they do that little jump over the pool or whatever, and they do the little spring, whatever, like go over it. This Bigfoot literally dove over the bush, tucked and rolled, and kept running. And I'm chasing it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta jump over this bush like him or whatever, and I gotta tuck and roll. Well, me being as big as I am, and the conditions that was in there, it didn't end well because I didn't make it. And I was like, man, now I know how they get away from me so fast. They can run and dive over the bush or whatever and be on the other side of the bush and whatever, and we can't make it through there. And then I'm like, so now I understand how they're getting away from me so quick. And, but I got a lot of stories of the dog man and Bigfoots, but that's just 2 of them that stand out to me, so.
Did you see the show with Josh? I did the interview. He told us some, them all, I bet, but he told us some interesting stories. the dog man sneaking his face over his hammock and stuff?
Oh, that was over his buddy's hammock or whatever. I was on a live stream with them or whatever when that happened. We were on a video chat like we are here, you know, we were on a video chat, and I watched the dog sneak up in there. I thought it was a Bigfoot at first, you know, when it came up and all that. But anyway, it snuck up, but the eye sign was a little different. And then the closer it got, the more you could tell it was a dog. And I was telling Josh, I was like, Josh, there's something sneaking up on us, you know. And I'm saying up on us because I'm like on the phone with him, so I'm thinking I'm there, you know. I'm like, dude, it's sneaking up on us. And he's like, what? I'm like, it's right there by the tree. And he's like, and we kept watching it, and we watched it for a good, probably a half an hour or so, just chilling right there by the tree. But anyway, it sneaks up, and then you can see it go underneath Weasel's hammock. And then I told Josh, I was like, it's over there by your boy, whatever. And then, which was weird or whatever. And then that's when he tells you that, you know, it went up and it was listening to him breathe and listening to his heartbeat. And then it did the little snarl. Then it was like it wanted to eat him. And then all of a sudden Weasel woke up and it's right there in his face. And that would be pretty terrifying, you know, if you had something like that happen to you. But he used to think, all these weird thoughts, though. He used to think that you know, like he was gonna make out with these dogman. They're women, you know, like they're because he's seen these dogman women, and he's seen that, you know, and he would get obsessed. Like he was like he wanted to be with the dog women, you know. And he kept talking about, but he kept calling them white Sasquatches, and we're like, dude, you're talking about the dog woman. You're talking about their wife. And then he used to be obsessed, and we used to tell him, dude, you can't think like that. And Mama knows what I'm talking about too, because she told him to make a picture of him and his wife and put it out there and have them accept it and all this other stuff, you know, to ask for forgiveness, because he was really bad into it, where he was lusting over these creatures, like he was upset. And you know, I don't really like to blast his business, but this is what happened, you know. And when the dog came up on him or whatever and did that, where it was face to face or whatever, he let go of some bodily fluids or whatever to let you know that he was scared, you know. But it was pretty scary encounter, you know. And Josh, I got Josh to talk about it one time or whatever, where he told the whole story the right way, because I say, Josh, tell it the right way. Well, no, because I don't want to embarrass him like that. And I don't want to, well, yeah, I understand it's kind of embarrassing, you know, but the thing is you got to let your subscribers and your fans and your friends know, you know, the whole story, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because, you know, that's how if you're lying to your subscribers or anything like that, just a little bit, they can sense it. You know what I'm saying? So when I tell them like something that happened to me or something that, you know, that I interacted with, and you can go back and listen to like all my old videos and, you know, old podcasts with people and all that. My stories that I tell you never change. They all stay the same because it's stuff that really happened to me. So, and then like I said, that one happened too. So.
Spread the word and tell us your experiences. You know, it's you need to kind of want to find them, right? To see them in a way for them to express themselves. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you start making up stuff or you start saying stuff that ain't there or stuff like that, then your subscribers or whatever, they're not once they catch you in a lie and all that, and they see that you're a liar and you know, they're not gonna, who's gonna want to listen to you, who's gonna want to follow you. And I try to, like I said, I tell people I ain't got no filter and all that, because I'll call other channels out as I see them doing this and doing that, and people are like, well, that's why you ain't got your base ain't built, because you talk about other channels and all that, and you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't attack other people. And I understand that, but the thing is, I want my subscribers to know and my viewers to know that these other channels that you're following or whatever are doing this stuff. You know, they're staging it, they're doing this, they're doing that, and I'm calling them on it and letting them know. You know, they say, well, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. Well, I guess I do it the wrong way, so I make people mad.
question for you because
Mama Bear,
Does your-
yes.
does your clan follow you home or communicate with you, or do they throw rocks at you? I'm throwing many questions out here because many viewers don't ask the right questions sometimes. How do you communicate with them? Or do you have more than one clan?
I have more than one clan, yes. And I have more than one marking, yes. And that's how you know there's different clans. But my clan or whatever, like the ones I deal with in the hotspot and all that, do they follow me home? Yes. Do they ride with me in the cars? Yes. They travel with me. They go to all different locations. They've been seen on the cameras in all different locations. Like I'll be at Fort Custer, they'll be there. A and B, the new sites, they've been in them pictures. At the hotspot, they've been there. I go to PA, they've been there. So yeah, they travel, they go with me. Do they come into my home? Yes, they come to my home. They peek in my windows, and this is the thing is, it's not like, oh, they only show up once in a while. It's every night. It's every night. It's not. They don't take a break. It's day and night, to be honest with you. Because in the daytime, I'll be walking through the house, certain parts of the house, and then that odor, and it's like, oh, they're here. And then my wife's like, oh, your friends are here, so she's used to it. Chris is used to it. People that come here, they're like, dude, you don't smell that? I'm like, smell what? You know, I'm so used to the smell that I blow it off. And I try to, you know, my friends that come around and all that, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's a skunk that sprayed or whatever. And then they're like, well, that's kind of weird because, you know, some of my friends that have been out in the woods and woodsmen's, you know, they're dude, a skunk would still be lingering and da 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 da. So how did the smell go away? And you know, they can't explain it. And then all of a sudden it comes back, and I'm like, well, it must be the way the wind's blowing. It's blowing it this way, and then back to you. You know, I try to blow it off with them, you know, but they like to knock on the windows. They like to pop their head in the windows. They like to run past it. They like to cloak, uncloak. They like the new one that they're doing now is they're poking their head through the screen door into the door, and their head comes in through the door like this, and then all of a sudden you see these big old yellow eyeballs lit up, and then you can see the face coming into shape and whatever, and then they pop back out the door. They've been doing this a lot lately. The other day I'm sitting here just a couple days ago, my window that's straight across from us, I watched a white, and it was kind of weird, man. It was kind of like a cylinder, but it was like bigger, like almost like a coffee can or whatever, or like a pop can. It came through the window and went into the floor. It was an orb, and this is middle of the day, and it comes in, it goes right into the floor, and it was really quick. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back to bed because I must not have enough sleep. I'm seeing stuff. I see these, and it's weird to explain it, but the only way to do it is to tell you guys. I have these big old mist balls, like it looks like a mist. It flies through my house into my ceiling, into like from the attic, like it'll come in from like the kitchen area and fly through the house like a ghost, and then up into the ceiling, or it'll drop down right in front of you, or it'll pop behind you or beside you, and then all of a sudden, I'm talking on like live stream with mom or whatever. I'm like, do you hear that? And she's laughing or whatever, because you can hear them in the attic. Boom, 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 boom. And they're up there and they're having wrestling matches and all that. And they're slamming each other around up in the attic. And I go up in my attic. There's nothing up in there. There's no signs of raccoons and stuff like that. You know, there's no bats, birds, nothing like that. It's just a normal attic. And I go up in there and there's nothing. And, you know, you can tell the difference when you hear mice, you know, and you can hear them because they'll scratch a lot, and then they'll run like rats and all across the floor and all that. You'll hear like a little tapping, like, you know, when they run. But this ain't that. This is like two grown size humans, my size, up in the attic wrestling. We came in, we went grocery shopping. We came in from doing our groceries, and I'm in the kitchen, and the wife's in the kitchen with me. And then she's like, she grabs me by the arm and she says, listen. And on the stairs of our attic, you can hear boom, 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 and it runs up the stairs, and you can hear it jump down the stairs, and you hear it boom, 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 when they're running back and forth. There's literally two of them. They're chasing each other up and down the stairs. And I'm talking about they're not being quiet. They're like boom, 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 and then you also hear boom. And
Wow.
they're not being quiet. And the wife's like, they're wrestling on the stairs, and she's used to it now, like at first it would scare her. She'd be like, oh, we got ghosts in the house. We got spirits, And a lot of people, that's what a lot of people think too. You open up the door and you go up there and there's nothing. And then people are like, wow, I got ghosts in the house or whatever. It's spirits. But just imagine if a lot of these ghost stories and spirits and all that, what if they were the Suntungas and they're goofing off and they were cloaked and all that, and they get,
Many could
mistaken
be
for missing identity.
misinterpreted, for sure.
But yeah, this is stuff that happens to me. And I told them they can, I open my house up to them. I tell them they can come in, they can stay here. I tell Benjamin, which is my favorite one, and Steven, that you guys are more than welcome to bring your family and your kids here. And guess what? I'm like a babysitter now because they drop their kids off and leave them here. And, you tell people this and they're like, oh, you're crazy. I lose followers and all that, for telling people this. But it's stuff that happens. And if people say they investigate it and they're doing this thing with Bigfoots, and they say, first question I always ask them is, well, do they come to your house? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so you're fake. I don't want to talk to you really, because I know dealing with them and all that. If you're really dealing with them and all that, they would literally follow you home. And it doesn't matter if you've only been out there one time messing around or whatever. If they like you, they're following you home. If they had interaction with you, they're going to follow you home. Wow. Stuff's going to happen. You're going to notice stuff around your house. So,
yes, they
Love
do.
you, brother
They'll
Josh.
even like, just like how Sangha and I were FaceTiming, and he's in his shed, and I said, you need to go outside. There's a new baby on your roof. And he's like, no. I said, yes. So when he went to go look, there's one behind the shed, and I said, look up. And he's like, oh my God, Mama, stop doing that to me, telling me where they are. I said, you have a little one up there.
It peeked over at me.
And I said, and he'll ask me, he goes, Mom, this is like a couple years back. And he's like, are they actually bringing their young? I said, the older juvenile and the young babies, yes. And if you will look in your far corner to the left, you'll see the dog man. He's squatting down there. Just watching what how his expression is. So, and it is. I mean, I have 4 clans. We're in Blackfoot over there, and I have in Canada. I have Sonora, and then I have another one that's over in Nevada, the border of California and Nevada. And the other day I haven't posted pictures yet. I just post where I go. I've been doing this for over 50 years, investigating who they are, what they are, because I am one of the leaders that go out and track with 9 other followers. They're my relatives, and we go investigate certain states, and we fly out there and investigate what's going on or who's seeing what. And they're like, we'll have a couple of people that are not native, and we will go out there and show them how to read the tracks, because there are 3-toe, 4-toe, 5 toes, and 6 toes, and they will have 6 fingers on each hand. They're saying, some people, oh, that's got to be an 8. No. It's not. You can tell the difference. But I will say this, not yet, just because I've been occupied. I have been for a year. I haven't done no tracking, but I went a few months ago, and I shouldn't have, because I wasn't completely healed. I had several things going on with me after having surgery, removed the cancer and stuff, and then my leg got dropped.
Told you not to go.
if they're calling me, I gotta go. And believe me, when they'll come here, they'll come in my room, and my husband's like, I think they're here. Can you please tell them go outside? They won't. But they'll grab me, and the way they grab, they don't mean to like grab hard. I'll get bruised.
Seen the
I'll
bruises or whatever from when they
I'll
grabbed
get,
the hold of you.
I'll get scratched. The young one likes to come up and touch. Um,
Mhm.
a good friend made some crosses for me, and I have one here at the house, and I put it right in the center of my backyard from the home, and they move it and put it somewhere else. And I'm all, no, I'll put it back. Then they'll move it to another place. I'm like, okay, you guys are not doing that. So, but so I said, okay, put it back. What they did, they brought it in my patio and set it on the couch. I said, okay, well, think where you feel that it needs to be. But yes, if you have interacted with a satanga and gifted them, you'll be marked. It is a God gift that they marked you, which that means they have a great communication with you. They have the trust with you. But if you go out there with someone else, hey, I have a visitor coming, and they're just here to investigate. You need to explain to them. If you don't want to be filmed, or if you want to be filmed, you can pop your head, or you don't need to. But they will do like the one eye shine like this. So not the one you see them both will be the dog. But usually a satanga, they'll look, and then it's usually just one eye. But again, everybody investigates different. But
True.
when I say you want to go investigate a certain area, I ask of you, please put down tobacco, say a prayer. You come with Mother Earth not to harm nobody. And please do not attach to me, because believe me, if you're going to go out in the mountains or the woods, then something can be behind you and not understand what it is, and all of a sudden you feel real sick or something, and you feel like you're being zapped. Well, there is a reason why you got zapped. Either you're not protected, or you're not familiar with what you're looking for. So it is important that you do stay protected and make sure. If you say, I know a lot of channels, they ask me for protection bags, and they have did a donation for it, purchase one. But I also had told them, it will help you. I promise you, it would help you from the bad entities to the aggressives. And if not, then I'm not doing my healing job proper. So they, when you're bringing someone into the field on Mother Earth, and you're saying, okay, let's investigate this area, I myself not know what it is, then you tell them, hey, I'm not used to this, but I mapped it. Please mark it. You're on your map, on your GPS. It is important. But they will also help you redirect you back to your entrance. If you don't leave no markings, they will show you. But sometimes it would be a little difficult. 1 second, please. Biggie, did you go ahead and talk?
Yeah, sure.
Biggie, can you answer me this question?
Mhm.
How what signs of a mark, without kind of scaring you, would they leave you? You know what I mean? Because imagine you are looking for them, but some other people may just go to do some hike. How can they kind of stay more aware if if Bigfoot is trying to communicate with him and maybe mark him, and how can he or she, stay protected uh, of any bad things happening, you know what I mean? If they happen, I'm not saying they happen, but I don't know. Sometimes they may happen. I don't know.
See, a lot of times what Sasquatches do is when people don't understand them or they encounter them for the first time or they're like, they don't think they're real or something like that, they'll throw like sticks, they'll throw rocks, they'll throw little stuff like pebbles, like pebble, I call them pebble sizes. They start out with small stuff first. And if they don't want you in an area, they'll holler, they'll scream, they'll yell. Like a lot of people was like, well, I was in the middle of the woods and all of a sudden I heard this blood growling growl scream. And a lot of times I said, oh yeah. And then I was like, so what did it do to you? And they're like, nothing. It was just so loud, whatever. And I'm like, I kind of lean them ones off because you can tell when somebody's lying to you. If you investigate a lot, you can tell if somebody's lying to you. And a lot of times I get a lot of people that lie, try to say that that this happened and it didn't happen. Because the one thing is the smell. I started out when I was like doing it, I was like, oh, I smell this, I smell that, And the thing is when I did that, I was going by other people, like what they had experienced or what they smelled like and all that. Then the more I started doing it, I started telling people what I was actually really smelling. Like the Tuntungas, when I smell them, they're more like a skunky smell. When I smell the dogmen and all that, they're more like a wet dog, mixed with like wet basements type of smell. Like they got the musky odor to them and all that. And when I encounter the its or whatever, they have more like a rotten flesh, like basically like meat that's been sitting out, spoiling, that's nasty and stinky, like smell like death. But anyway, the thing is with the Bigfoots, when I'm out and I'm trying to find a spot to like see if there's activity in the woods or whatever, all you have to do is walk through the woods or walk down a trail or I can pretty much walk by, but you get out, you walk, and all of a sudden you feel like somebody's watching you. You get that creepy feeling. I feel like somebody's watching me. That's how you know they're in the area. Because right then, as soon as they're in the area, they give off this low frequency or whatever, and then it does something to us and makes the hair stand up like ghosts do.
It's the
Like right now,
vibration.
all the stuff is standing up on me just by talking about it. I don't think they really want me talking about it because, like, literally, I just got goosebumps all over me. But anyway, that's pretty much what happens. You get the hair standing up on you, all the goosebumps. You get the hair. Like Odie used to say, I get the hair standing up on the back of my head. That's because he's letting you know that you can feel the air, the energy charged, and you can feel like something's like gonna get you. It's like you feel like something like you feel like your prey is what the best way to explain it. You feel like you're a predator, like a predator is gonna get you, like they're gonna snatch you up, and that's why you always hear Josh say,
What?
"I feel like they're gonna snatch me up or whatever, like they're gonna grab me up and run off with me and all that." Is because you get this fear in you that something's gonna hurt you or grab you or something, And they're letting you know that's how they're letting you know that they're in the area. Now, if they don't want you in a certain spot, they'll go from throwing small rocks to now starting to throw bigger rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was down in the Devil's Soup Bowl, I had rocks that were bigger than my head flying at me. And Mud was with me or whatever. He was laughing or whatever. I'm like, dude, you didn't hear it? It was like a big old boom. And I turn around, there's a rock there. And I'm like, dude, they just threw a rock at us. I'm like, we don't need to be down here. He's like, oh, you're tripping, and he doesn't, sometimes he takes it serious, the Bigfoot things. And then when stuff happens to him, he's like all for it. And then a lot of times he goes out there and he's just joking, like, like it's a big game to him. Like there's nothing. And then, like some days he's like, oh, there ain't nothing. We're chasing nothing. And then some days then when he gets scared or whatever, then he's all into it, and then, he's all flocked to me and people see it on the channel. Sometimes he's out there and he's telling you that, oh, there's nothing here. There's nothing. Because in his mindset, he's telling himself to not fear, not to be scared. But deep down, he knows there's something because he's had stuff happen to him. But we had these big old boulders come at me and all that, these big old rocks. And what I'm saying is if they don't want you in an area, they'll start taking bigger logs and bigger rocks, throwing them at you. They want you out of that area. So if they don't want you in a certain spot, that's how you know that and then when they start screaming at you, like the howl I was telling you about, when they do that, when they scream, it don't matter if they're a mile off, 2 miles off, if they want you to know that they're in that area, when you hear that scream, that holler out, it could be where you could be wherever you're at in them woods, and you will feel that stuff hit your soul, like all of a sudden, like a big rush comes into you, like boom, like something just hits you like so hard and almost like knocks the wind out of you. That's how you know. That's how you know that the Bigfoot don't want you in that area, or that's how they'll let you know that that's them. Because when I tell people, well, I heard the scream, I heard a whoop, I heard this, this blood awful scream or whatever, and I'm like, so what did it do to you? And they're like, oh, I just heard it, whatever. It scared me, whatever. And I'm like, so okay. And I kind of blow it off, whatever. Like, yeah, they're not really being truthful or whatever, or they're holding it back, So I kind of like lean towards like stay away from people like that, because when it ever happens to me at the hot spot, it happens to me at other spots. When they do that scream, it puts a fear in you. Like it literally hits you in your chest, like you're having a heart attack, like you're short of breath, and you get a sensational fear that comes over you. Now, granted, I'm not scared of them. I think it's kind of amazing when they do it. To be honest, I'm like, wow. Then I think about, I'm like, how do they do this? And that's when I started learning about the heart and the low frequencies and the microwaves and the radio stuff and all that other stuff. But the thing is I'm never going to be rich enough to where I can do all the, send them back the little, signs or whatever. Like if I could do it, I would, but I don't know. I can't do it. So the low frequency stuff, like if I could play with that, and I've heard our government's had it for years or whatever. They can make people be zombies and make people. I've heard, like they say zombies. They can mess with your mind and make you do stuff with low frequencies. Sending off the low frequencies and high frequencies, but
yep, the zapping.
Part of life. Yeah, anything you want to say, Mama?
Do you want to answer the question, or do you have any idea if the creatures are migratory?
They're not like bears, no. They're just like humans.
And they do not hibernate. No.
No, they don't. All year long.
Yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, go ahead.
They do cross country states, and they roam to get another partner, and they bring up their family more that way. Say they went from Michigan to PA, it could be the female or male they took and bring it back to Virginia and make the family have another clan there. So they will travel. Even though that there was fires here, they will travel because they have other destinations to get to.
So you're trying to say that they're not incest?
Right.
Oh, that's interesting. If you've lost any time.
Yep.
That's really interesting.
Now, when you mention that someone asks, how do you know if you're marked or whatever? It takes patience and trust. And it would be one of their leaders to see how your living situation is, and they will help you in every way. Then you are committed to them like family, and you will get marked. It starts off of a red dot, and then over the years, as it gets, mine took already 20 years to get a little light brown, a tan color, but I have 4 markings. So
I have 2,
and all my clans come here. They tell my husband Dunka, because when he went with me, they seen him fall. But a lot of people are asking, why do they go in the trees or go on the branches? They're really, really heavy. You know what? it's the energy from the tree and them combine, which helps them cloak into the tree, and it keeps them lighter when they're standing on the trees. When someone is trying to take pictures or videos, they're investigating the woods or the mountains. There are people that have very good sharp eyes, and they will snap a picture, and then they will show that person that's investigating, whoever it is in that channel, will say, hey, I seen one in the chair. I mean, on the, what you call it, the branch, and what is going on, really? There's a lot of things that people don't understand how they do cloak and try to communicate with them in a proper way. But over time, in months, in years, I tried to teach those who I had sponsored to learn about them, even if they say they had 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 18 years, and not really, you're interacting with them, but not really understanding who they are or what they're all about. So it takes a lot of patience and trust, believe me, because if they don't want you around, you'll know. You
True
will
that.
know.
That's what I was trying to tell people.
Or
You need to go there often.
even if you're close to their young, you'll see a barrier. You be careful. I advise you be very, very careful.
I went
Because
back there.
not just that, it doesn't, you don't want to hurt your life. Just say, I'm only here to investigate. I'm sorry if I overstep, I'll back up. Because you will hear some grunts, you will hear some growling. And if not, the mother, she will pick up a rock and throw it right at you.
I had them come all like the whole clan come running at me at once. They all bluff charged me, and it put a fear in me to like, whoa, I'll back off. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to go after your kid. I'm good. Trust me, I didn't have no bad intentions. I didn't know it was the baby, and yeah. Mom was telling you all the truth though. If they don't want you by the baby or whatever, it's like a bear. It's like a mama, any kind of mom that it has a kid. You don't mess with the babies. They will rip you apart.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is funny though. Kind of neat.
There was a question from CP if they use tree energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they do.
Any other
Okay.
stories you want to share, Mama Bear, before you show your handwork traditional things?
Oh, yes. This was, I would say,
And
maybe
Biggie as well.
years ago. Mama Rainfeather, she's my godmother, and she also taught me, and she's got a mouth that's wild as pit. She will tell you straight to your face, it don't matter who you are. She'll say FBA and everything. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a 94-year-old woman. I said, stop. She goes, no, he don't know. He's making lies on live here with many people thinking crazy. I said, well, let it be. We were investigating in Iowa. And her and I and 8 other people, we were trying to track down the Wingalo, and like somebody said, oh, that is a foot of a ox. No. I looked down and I said, no, No, that's not an ox. Don't look like a huff. And she said, she comes and the man don't know what he's saying. So we would go and we kind of like brush it off a little. And then I said, wait a minute, where are these tracks going? So we both started walking towards everything, all these trees. And then you get this big smell. Mind you, it is like 1:30 in the morning. Then we seen something squat down and all you see is these little rats. And find out, she's like, hey, you, in our language, Nikotoya, Nisquato, Ishte Kunyata. I'm not going to say bad words either in Spanish. She was calling it out. You come here, Wingalo. You think you're going to get us? Come. This Spitfire, I tell you. And she's like, you are not welcome. You need to leave. And then next thing you know, you're hearing these bad growls. You hear like a, oh. And I was like, why is it doing that? What are you doing to it? The group that we were with, our colleagues, and they're like, hey, we're not here to challenge it. Mama Rainfeather says, this is how we're going to learn. This is how our ancestors learn. So I was like, oh my goodness. I'm holding my bag so tight like this. And the two gentlemen, they had urinated on their pants. And she's like, oh, don't be scared. So we kept moving and moving, and it followed us. And just a ways more, like maybe 80 yards away, you could see a satanga. And what it did, it just picked up this big branch, longer than not, I'm 5'8", and it threw all the way over there where it was. And that was a warning. And then Mama Rainfeather said, Nino oiste con no haike. We need to go and to the other side. As we went to the other side, next thing you know, it was still following. And when it went, there's the tree and the roots are coming down on the side. And I'm like, oh, that's a fall. And I don't know, let's go this way. They said, we're too scared. I said, come beside us on the left. We will guide you. We went, but she's still cussing at it as we're walking. And I said, that's enough. Let it go. Let it go. Now it's already 2:45 and we're getting closer to the entrance. And all you see is just another branch go this way. And I said, I turned around and looked at her, are you still throwing branches? She said, I don't do that one. I don't do that one. I said,
Would do that
okay.
one.
It was the Wingalo following. So we sat in the circle, all of us. So I circled all around with the stick and we put down tobacco. And I said, each of us has to do this. So I gave them tobacco and they all had it in their hand. I said, no, put it down in front of you and where the knees. And after they did that, I got the smudge. I always try to carry a little bit with me, either this or the pau, and you burn it. And I'm like, I'm not going to go through this no more. You need to stop. And they said, no. I could hear the Wingalo speaking, and it's not a good sound. No one wants to hear because it's like a squeak. And I went around and I do it clockwise to this hall. And then Mama Rainfeather said, I'm done with you. Vanish. It was not there no more. I couldn't see it. And it was gone. So by the time we finished doing the prayer, we got up and started walking more out the entrance. And ever since then, 4 of the guys were scared and they do not do any investigation anymore. That's why I say you need to really pay attention. Look, keep your head on the sill, but not, go fast or like that. Or no, don't do that. Stay
Look
calm.
out the corner of the eye, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I do.
CP, sorry.
Go ahead.
CP is
Question:
asking.
Can Sasquatch be in 2 different places and interact with people? No. One, unless it sends another.
But they can be like here in Michigan where I live at, they can come and they can visit and then they can portal back to like say like I was in PA, they can go through a portal and be in PA too. So they can travel like that from spot to spot. So but they can't be in the same spot, 2 different spots at the same time, but they can be at 2 different spots by portaling from one spot to the other. It
Right.
makes sense.
Nice.
Many people don't understand indigenous ways. Some might be a little bit have indigenous in them, and it could be down from their ancestors. But when I tell my sponsored children or colleagues, you got to remember you have to have the respect and give Mother Earth that much love and respect. You have to put down tobacco and for the grace of her, because she's allowing us to continue investigate many different areas in this world. Now she works with Father the Creator. Sorry, I'm in the office. Let me mute it.
It happens. There's always a helicopter or something that ruins the live stream. When you're in the house, it's always the phone.
Yeah.
That's the helicopter of the forest, and in the house is the phone.
Yes, it's very true. Very true. The government always have insight of many things, believe me. And I tell this to many channels. Oh, there's going to be more. You think it's leaving? No, there'll be another one right like 20 minutes later, hovering around, because the government really knows a lot of stuff, believe me.
Yeah, they do.
They
Way
just
more
don't
than
tell. They don't tell people or Americans and stuff like that. So
They don't want us to fear. If they actually told us everything they know or whatever, we would be running out and doing chaos because we would know what to do. That's why they keep everything a hush hush. And I got a question for you,
The
Mama.
big world.
Why do we use tobacco to put down before we go in?
it's a sacred for Mother Earth, for prayers, that out of respect for her, because she's watching us and protecting us as we guide through the journey to investigate.
Me too,
So we use
sister.
something from the earth to give back to the earth.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I kind of
Now,
knew the question already, but I just wanted people to know.
there's a couple things. Well, there is some things I want to show you. And at the end of our stream, I do want to pray for everybody.
Yes.
If you do have prayers, but this will
Of
be at the
course.
end of our stream.
Yep.
There is, I do, for many people, many humans, people, not just my relatives, but I strongly stand by other people and in humans to understand that I am sharing to everyone what is in the forest or the woods. But my relatives get mad And sometimes I say things, I have to watch what I say because our laws, our native laws, I have to be careful sometimes. But sometimes I just say it and I don't worry. But they say that many outsiders, which are people, Americans, um, keep things from us. Well, we're all together in this. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, why can't we share?
True.
So I have what I've been putting together for others is smudge kits. These smaller ones are $20. You either get a turkey feather or you get a pajonin. And I forgot how do you say it in English. They're like the sister of the turkey. This set here is $20. I wonder if I should put.
What is it sitting on?
You can have a stand. Some I will have stands. My husband makes these for me. And what it does, it sits like this.
Is that a shell that it's sitting on?
I'm going to show you. Be patient with
Okay.
me. Okay. This is a shell.
Oh, beautiful. It's a mother pearl.
Yes.
Just-
And this is a sage stick. This is white sage. I grow it and I hang it up. And then when it's halfway dried, I put them together and I cut them, put them together, and then I make a little kit. And then I'll put a feather with it. If anybody who cares for one, they can get hold of me in my email or messenger on Facebook. Now these I do for the small ones, $20, $6 for shipping. I put them together, I bless them because I don't want the journey to you be with bad energy or anything. And the same thing, I have
Wonderful.
the larger ones. The larger ones are 35. And then I do put different size. Those were the small ones, and then I have a medium and a larger one. So then I do have a pole which you can burn. I have these are like the chips. So if you don't want to carry a big thick one, I have the long ones. They're about as long as your finger, or you can do the chips. Now, those are about $5. The chips I give about 20 of these ones, and these are still $5. So there. Now I do have different sages. I have
For different uses,
Yes.
mhm,
like medicinal or just more spiritual,
some for
cleansing.
spiritual cleansing and protection.
Okay.
Yep. Protection, cleansing, and yep, spiritual. But the sage is pretty much the common one that's used for everything.
There is white sage, pine sage, polo stick, cedar stick, Jupiter, eucalyptus, and lavender. You can do all these for that. I get them for $8, $6 shipping. And believe me, I send more than just one. Say you want one, I send two. Because I really want you to enjoy the smell of the sage stick. Also, I make creams. This one here
Oh, nice.
it's got cedar, pine, beeswax, and
None of your beeswax.
how do you say Nikodnohashte? I do sprinkle a little bit of sage in there, and it's neuropathy. It's good for your feet, your bones. You can put it on your hands, your wrists, your fingers. You can put it in your back, on your spine. I have this one, and I also have another rub too that I just sold it.
It's like bombs.
Yes, it's almost like a tiger balm or that you get from the store, muscle balm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bag bomb or whatever they call it here. Bag bomb.
Nice.
Yeah, I make that out of cayenne pepper, rock salt, beeswax, the liquid, the spearmint. All these is all natural herbs that I do.
Nice.
Or else I'm not a medicine woman. And believe me, I pray over these as I'm making them, and then when I put them in the container, because I feel that it's
Nice.
ready. Okay, now
Beautiful.
I also make feather fans. These are one of them. Let me turn off my background.
They work pretty good too if you eat chili.
They're so baloney.
Feather fan.
Nice to get to see my background at my office. Now this is a feather chair. See, and I make these. I also
Oh,
have.
nice.
I have made quite a few of them with butterflies and
That's my wife's favorite is butterflies.
and then also it has. Do you know anybody knows what these stones are? These crystals?
Gibsonite.
Kryptonite. And then the
Well,
sunflower.
kryptonite is from Superman or whatever it is. Superman or the kryptonite, galvanite, whatever.
These feather fans they go for 40. So they also, when I make them, I pray over them, and if the person wants me to make it for them, I add their name in as I'm making it and praying over it. I have brown, I do brown, yellow. The reason why we do yellow, the yellow is good harmony, peaceful. It brings enjoyment. And I always put them in bubble wrap. Then, like I said, I have sage and stuff. I have different sages. I like to keep here is an amethyst.
That's sweet.
Oh, the purple quartz.
Yes,
that's
it's called an
gorgeous.
amethyst. I make
A
these.
necklace or
Oh, nice one.
Or
I just finished making 3 more because I sold quite a few of them.
Yeah, them were-
Awesome.
And then
I have an ashtray. I have an ashtray of that stone. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
It was left from my grandmother, and I left it over the washing machine, and it fell and it broke in half.
super glue.
So I'm trying to glue it and find maybe like a wood base to glue it to the base so that it stays connected. But it's still a project in work, but I'll probably make a video.
Okay, and then I have the little ones I'm going to be
Oh, sorry.
working at. That's okay.
Oh, not me.
Glue it to a plate.
So, and then, trying to, the little tiny ones, I always, when people tell me they have like really bad energies and they don't, or have bad luck, I usually send one to them when they have ordered many things because I also feel that they should know what they have. Also, I have the necklaces that I made. I did give some earrings away that belonged to this because I felt this lady needed them. These are the bead it. These are like jumbo beads, the fruit. So we leave them in the oil to crumble, and then I bring them back up. The
Oh,
necklaces
nice.
are 15. The set here are 30.
Misangas.
And then I added a little feather with the turquoise.
Oh,
These
beautiful.
the earrings can go for 25. They in our powwows when we sell these, they go from 150 to 200 to $300. I'm sorry, that's how most of my relatives are. I'm not here to hurt anybody's pockets. This is why I said I'd rather see it go for use. Will be $30 here. These are the beads that I have made. I make round ones. If you want just the earrings, they will go for $20.
That was a beautiful set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the turquoise.
I usually make the medicine wheel because it's important that if people do understand. I have those.
Earrings.
Mhm. And I do the dream catchers. You do.
Very
And
detailed.
thank you.
When was your last time you went to a powwow, sister?
A year ago. I usually either dance in it or I judge, or mostly I sing in them too. So I also
Or
hear
nice one.
these are like for the men. These are buffalo bones. And then the
Oh,
turquoise beads.
yeah. Oh, interesting.
So many different things, separate earrings, or if you want to put them together, like I said. So that way.
I do enjoy seeing the indigenous ladies wearing the
Earrings.
all the dresses and
Well,
accessories. That's
not
beautiful.
not too long ago, somebody kind of helped themselves to my shed, and they took a box which had my dresses. So I was a little upset, but
Oh, so sorry, sister.
it's a lot of thieves that don't know what to, do. I did want to show you.
Opportunists.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. That's a teeth, a claw,
That's the
right?
bear. That's the bear claw from the bear that Mama bear claw killed or whatever with the bow.
Mhm.
That's the bear claw.
Oh, nice.
That's one of them. I have the other one in here, and the fan.
She made me a
This
necklace. I've been
this
wanting
is
one
a
my whole life, and they cost a lot. And Mama sent me one.
with buffalo bones, and
And
this is
that's a
a
chest.
This is a chest choker. Men or women can wear it. It goes down. So these are buffalo bones, and these are their turquoise. So
Wow, sister.
um,
Those
I try
are unique pieces.
this one here is
James, my brother.
it's $75. Now I was going to, I don't know, haven't decided yet. I had made 5 of these. Now these chokers here, these are part of Mama Rainfeather's beads. These here are moose bones, and they're dyed. And this one here,
Gorgeous.
when we do it in the powwow, or if you go into the native store, they'll be from $3.99 to $1,000. So, and I'm only doing it $175. If I don't sell it, then I might gift it. That's what I told my husband. I says, I usually try to help others in the powwows and stuff, but I already done that with some protection medicine bags. And I try to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to grab one for the donation of that price. And when I do, let me find it first.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, what did I do with it? Oh,
Does good work
My-
though, for sure.
my protection medicine bags, they're either deer, elk, or moose skin. And sometimes I dye them in different colors because some people, I want to feel for them and see what it is their aura can be. There is dark blue, there is turquoise, there's tan, the regular skin, there's a dark brown, purple, because I know some women like purple, and then
I like
sometimes
purple too.
sometimes I can feel that it is their aura. And then there's black. Now I do these ones, or I do the ruffles on the bottom too. So, and then the protection medicine bags are going for 100. That's including shipping. And if you want
It's
a
worth every
medallion,
penny though.
if you want a medallion, see, they say you're only supposed to receive a medallion when you've done ceremonies, or I make these too, but not this one was gifted to me. I got the earrings,
Nice.
the medallion, and I got the belt to roll with it. So, it I do my handwork. This is my business that I do on the side for me. And the channels, the people that have channels, they have received protection medicine bags for me, because I want to make sure they are protected. And because when you do go out investigate, believe me, there is a lot, and you really need to understand what they can do out there, But it will take care of you and everything, and knowing that you are protected from all entities, or the wind glow, the Mothman. They're saying that there is more other entities that are coming out, and people are calling the
Green Man.
sheriffs or the rangers. Why is this? I don't understand what, Yeah.
I
But
think it's got something to do with the volcanoes that are getting ready to erupt.
there's many other things, son.
Plus, if you get into the Bible side of it, whatever, it's everything has to happen.
True. But you got to remember the Saptangas were here when the Creator has wrote in his stones that this shall be like, how do you say, in the supper in the background.
Yeah, the Last Supper, yeah.
Okay, you see our Father, the Creator here. You will see up here like a cave, and you will see two Saptangas, a male and a female. On the other side, upper, you would see the dog, two male and female, and then you will see other entities that are there because they're communicating with the giants and stuff. It's the same thing. The Creator
What he's
had.
talking about is that's the first original Last Supper picture. See, now our government changed the background in the picture so that way we wouldn't see the creatures.
Because they try to hide what is Mother Earth. The government did not want them to be with the Bible and stuff. So, but it's okay, It doesn't stop us indigenous to continue on because we still believe that it's important to share with our relatives. So, but I tell my family, Nekwantoi ay kayino dokotoy ni aya. If you cannot see what is in front of you, then you need to see what is around you. Because sometimes it could be very dangerous and not understanding what you're doing or what you're seeing. And then you end up calling the police, state ranger, sheriffs, city cops. They're gonna tell you you're what? You've seen what? They're not gonna believe. But again, if you're living off the grid where there's really, you're like 30 miles to the city, then it could be 100 miles. It will live with you if you're living in the forest or the mountains. You just have to know what is completely around you and stay safe, because it can get very hard. I will say that what I do put in my protection medicine bags, and I share it with many people. I do, when people do order protection bags for me, I should take mine now. Let me see. Here. This is bear root. This is a very sacred and it's hard to find. We really know where to get it in the mountains. Now this one is mine. I always take a bite. If I have a headache, upset stomach, it's all natural. We use this in many things in medicine. So I put it in everyone's bag and I tell them if you feel you got zapped, then you need to take out the bear root, take a bite, small bite, not a large one because it is very potent. And if you have water, after you chew it, swallow it, drink some water, or if you carry a hard candy with you, the same thing. And it would help you from being unzapped. It would also help you to keep yourself calm. So
Very important.
It's very important to us in Indigenous Natives. We want to make sure that we all are protected, and we want to make sure things are good with us, especially if we're investigating out, in the forest or the woods or the mountains. I appreciate everyone allowing me to share my
You're welcome, sister.
my native jewelry and stuff. But if you're
Very impressive work, sister.
thank you. We say hi means thank you, or ikuaya, or aho.
Do you want to do the prayer?
Sure. Does anyone need a deep prayer that you would like me to do? I will say it in my language, and then I will tell you some, but I won't mention in English your name, so that way it's private. But if you say yes, put thumbs up, please. I have to bless myself first for doing prayer for everybody. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. I also know there should be some others. They told me they had a hard time trying to find the live, and that's okay. I had posted it on my channel on Elder Medicine Bearclaw's Facebook channel, so they can watch. But I believe because my bestie said she was trying to find it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pray over you. And JP, I'm going to pray for your wife and the baby.
Thank you very much.
Nakoya no testo kon tayo haye no kun haye to host hay in de na hay inta koto no kun ni stia yoshti hayin de koi haye poko han nakati yoshti kun non to koto este ando en kaya to yote uno koi te tahe oi hay ni kon to koste. Amen. Hi. I prayed over that the universe continues to heal us as Mother Earth has allowed us to be here with her, and our Father, the Creator, to continue to watch over us and heal those who need the healing, and those are in recovery. They have a speedy recovery from whatever that has been done. The healing hands of the Father will protect us and give us the sight of the things that we must see. I pray for those who need encouragement, and I pray for those who have anxieties and panic attacks. I thank you all for joining us in this live. That's why I pray that you all have an open mind and follow your heart. It's important, but to remember to be blissful. Love yourself first before you can love others. Hi.
I thank you very much.
You're most welcome. I do love praying, and I have a long list of people, over 200 that I pray for all the time. So I always want everyone to have peace in their journey, because there can be many that have harsh or unexpected and not understanding. And it's important that we all, come together here on Mother Earth and allow our Father, the Creator, which is Jesus Christ, to walk with us on our journey as we're here.
Exactly, sister. Biggie, big hugs. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
sharing your experiences and your wonderful life story as well. And Mama Bear, of course, you've been a blessing for us, for me and my family, and for this channel. And I thank you very much for staying friends and you know, growing with each other. That's, I think, what's really good about the YouTube and finding wonderful people like yourselves.
Yes.
So thank you very much again from the bottom of my heart.
Yes. I always remember people to like and subscribe. You don't really have to subscribe to me. I don't force no one, but if you
Yes,
care
but
to,
I
that's
want
fine.
to. I want everyone to connect to Mama Bear. I think I favorited your comment, and I'm gonna favorite Biggie's as well. Do you want to comment, Biggie, so I can favorite your comment?
Yeah, let me see chat.
I'm going up, but I haven't found you yet again. Oh, here you are.
The great outdoors. Yep.
Wonderful. So I hope to have you again sometime later, so we can continue sharing our experiences. I bet you have many more stories,
Oh, I do.
right, sister?
I do. It just takes me time to say it in English. Sometimes I have to say it in my language, then say it in English. So, but I'm very thankful for everyone coming and joining us and allowing me to pray over everyone. That is a blessing to do.
I hit the wrong button. I do that a lot. I
Happened to me before.
don't know how to use computers and fancy gadgets and all that, you know. So
Me too. I use the phone still. So once again, a big hugs. Thank you very much once again. Hope everyone connects to Mama Bearclaw, Elder Medicine Bearclaw, and Adventure Biggies. I favorited your comments as well. I will leave your links on the description after the end of the show, so everyone who comes to see the show after the live, you can go to the description and check Mama Bearclaw's channel and hear her wonderful experiences and stories, and Songa as well, also known as. Tell your channel. I'm always getting it confused.
my channel name is the Great Outdoors Biggie YouTube channel,
Great Outdoors.
and I also have a Facebook page and a chat group on the Facebook. The group is private or whatever because a lot of people got in there and did some stuff. So the group is private, but I also show my findings on my Facebook page too at the Great Outdoors Biggie.
Wonderful. Once again, thank you very much, and see you very soon, my friends.
Okay. Thank you for
Don P
having me.
loves you.
Much love. Don't
Bye
say everybody.
bye. Tanzi. See you soon.
Bye-bye.